Hopefully I fight Ryan again. If they not on some hoe, I text them again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. That's what the mentors to teach you how to do this thing the smart way and not get you hurt, not have to take no risks, not to take many chances. So if that's what you learn, if that's the easy way out, why not do that? But y'all gave him credit for it, so y'all can't give him credit for it. He can do the same thing that this guy did.
Gervonta Davis has reportedly demanded $150 million for a Ryan Garcia rematch, saying he's now focused on maximizing earnings after already achieving everything he set out to prove.
I need to get out of my situation. You get what I'm saying? So that's another thing why I say, like, once I get to, while I'm at this level, like, it's no point, like, it's no more point to prove to myself. Because I already, you feel me? I did what I came to do.
Andre Ward said Gervonta Davis is now more focused on money and big fights than building a legacy. And if that's truly his priority, then he shouldn't be expected to chase greatness.
Here's my take on Davis. I don't remember the last time that I've heard Gervonta Davis say, I'm in boxing to be the greatest fighter of all time. I can't remember. I've heard him say that he's better than certain guys in his weight class, or this kid can't beat me. I've heard that. I can't remember, and maybe y'all can keep me honest online. The last time I've heard Gervonta Davis talk about his legacy in the ring. Like I'm building my legacy. I'm trying to outdo Floyd in legacy. Like, I think it started like that for him.
Andre Ward further stated that Gervonta Davis is now putting more focus on financial gain and big fight deals rather than legacy, adding that if his priority is securing his future through high-paying bouts, then people shouldn't expect him to chase greatness in the same way.
But the influence of Floyd Mayweather, Money Man, not Pretty Boy, but the Money Man, and building your brand and selling tickets and selling pay-per-views and becoming a household name, that's also a legacy. You got the legacy in the ring and you got the legacy in terms of how you sold. I believe Gervonta Davis is more focused on selling tickets and making money and securing his future for himself and his family. He said it out of his own mouth. I ain't got nothing else to prove. Well, depends on what your goal is. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to be one of the greatest fighters of all time, it's still a whole lot to prove. My point is, Roy, I don't think, should everybody hold this man to the standard that they hold him to and say, you not fighting nobody, yeah, you making money, but you ain't really fought nobody. If he don't even care about that, that's not even something that he's really focused on. If his main focus is the money, and his main focus is getting out of boxing without getting hurt and retiring on his own terms, shouldn't his fan base and other people get on board with that if that's not even his goal? How can we hold him to something like that if he don't even hold himself to that?
Roy Jones Jr. also said Gervonta Davis is following a similar approach to his mentor by choosing smart fights, reducing risks, and maximizing earnings, adding that if this strategy worked before, fans shouldn't have a problem with Davis doing the same.
They definitely should get on board with that. They definitely should, because, his mentor did basically the same thing, so why can't he do it? You know what I'm saying? He made more money than anybody. He was smarter than everybody. He didn't take too many stupid risks. That's what he did, and it worked for him. And people okay with that and accepting it, so why can't Tank do it? Tank can do the same thing the mentor did. That's what the mentors, to teach you how to do this thing the smart way and not get you hurt, not have to take no risks, not to take many chances. So if that's what you learn, if that's the easy way out, why not do that? But y'all gave him credit for it, so y'all can't give him credit for it. He can do the same thing that this guy did. Everybody had their own mentors, their own pound for pounds, their own people they want to be like. If he want to be like that guy that y'all say is great and was one of the best ever, why can't he do it? So I'm cool with whatever he say he want to do. In my old day, no.
On the other hand, Ryan Garcia has predicted a knockout win over Gervonta Davis, saying this is his moment, that Davis is no real threat to him, and that he believes he will win easily.
I'm going to knock out Gervonta Davis. I promise you. Hear my words. This is my moment. This is my time. He will not beat me. There's nothing terrifying about this guy. I'm going to beat him so easy. He's going to be like, ooh, sprinkle, boom.
Ryan Garcia is pushing for a rematch with Gervonta Davis, but says Davis must get active again first, adding that as a champion, he feels others need to step up, and he doesn't care if they don't.
I would love to. I think he needs to clean some of his act up and get back in the sport. We all want to see him back. Including myself, so I could run it back with him. But I don't think we're going to fight for a long time. He won't go up to 147 either. A lot of these guys, they want me to take the risk and go lower all the time, but they won't do it. Sounds a little to me. especially in the fact that I can't always be willing to take the extra step to make the fight happen. I've done that year in, year in, out. And now that I'm a world champion, you're going to have to come to me now. And if you don't want to, I don't really need you anyway. So what does matter? The thing about Tank, before, he thought that people really need him.
Gervonta Davis is back in training, fully locked in on sharpening his skills, improving his conditioning, and fine-tuning the game plan he intends to bring into the ring, showing clear focus on his next move. Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson has made it clear that he sees Davis as beatable, emphasizing that skill level and ring IQ are what truly decide fights, and he believes his own style, sharp, disciplined, elusive, and extremely hard to hit, would create major problems for Davis if they ever face each other.
Far as what?
Who better, goddammit? Who you got down? Yeah.
First, like skills.
Them boxers always trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, cause you asking some real.
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
It's hard to say what dude, cause like his only loss was when he got cheated. Like he really got cheated. Like people could say whatever they want, but seeing him get cheated, it's hard to really just go against dude. But like from a skill standpoint, I would say. Just because of he's trickier. Like he trickier. He gonna catch you with some shit that you don't see. So I'm gonna say that nigga. Like, damn, I just said this nigga name. I'm bugging. I'm gonna say dude.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
You know who dude is.
Meanwhile, Stephen A. Smith shared his thoughts on a possible fight between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis, predicting it would likely end in a knockout, and he noted that while Garcia's speed is an advantage, trading punches with Davis is very risky, which makes the matchup extremely explosive.
The two hardest ones for me, man. I don't think Garcia and Tank Davis are going the distance. Somebody get knocked out.
When you say somebody, who? Anybody? What are you saying?
I'm gonna go with Tank Davis. Here's what I'm believing. If Ryan Garcia, with his quickness and his length, stays away, he can do some things. But I think because of all the chirping, he gonna find himself in a situation where he gonna engage with Gervonta Davis. That is a mistake.
He's done.
That is a mistake. You engage with Gervonta Davis, he taking you out. That is what I believe. But be clear, Ryan Garcia is lightning quick, with power, and Gervonta is one of those dudes he don't mind taking just so he can give.
Andre Ward said the fight would likely be close, but he slightly favors Gervonta Davis due to his experience and overall development, adding that while both fighters have strong amateur backgrounds, Davis looks more polished and complete with a higher ring IQ that allows him to set up his power shots instead of just relying on them.
I think you gotta favor Tank 55, 45, 60, 40, whatever it is, because just when you watch him, you see pedigree. And Ryan's got pedigree too. He came up in the amateur system the whole nine, but I see more seasoned. I see more, just see more with Tank.
Like he says, complete.
I can see him, he can do more. And I see a high IQ. People talk about the power, but you got to think about the IQ that set that power up.
Furthermore, Andre Ward suggested the fight would likely start cautiously in the first few rounds as both fighters feel each other out, but once they begin to engage, the action would pick up, with more tactical exchanges early on and the pace and intensity increasing as the rounds progress.
The first round or two may be a little slow, but
he tends to get in the hole sometimes.
But based on the styles and the offenses of both guys, anytime they engage, it's going to be exciting. So, they're going to have moments where they tangle in the first 2 or 3 rounds for sure. And I think it's just going to pick up as the fight goes on.
Edgar Berlanga called it one of the biggest fights of the year, praising both fighters for helping push boxing forward by taking on top-level competition, and he added that their approach is motivating other boxers to step up instead of avoiding tough fights over money or A-side versus B-side issues, saying fans simply want to see the best fights happen.
That's one of the biggest fights right now of the year. You got two guys that's doing something great for the sport. They definitely making it happen. They actually putting all the good fighters to fight each other, man. Like what they did is making fighters want to fight each other. You get what I'm saying? Like they opened up that barrier for that.
Boxing needs.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you got a lot of guys that's ducking each other, or oh, the money ain't right, or this ain't right, or they want to be the A side, or they want to, you know, they don't want to be the B side. But yeah, man, they definitely make it happen, and I'm happy for them.
Moreover, Caleb Plant expressed strong support for Gervonta Davis, saying he has known him for a long time and has a lot of respect for both him and his team, adding that he is not only rooting for Davis but also believes he will win the fight by stoppage.
You know, he's one of my favorite fighters. I've known him for a long time. Him and Coach Calvin got a lot of love and respect for him, and that's my guy Tank. Not only am I rooting for him, but I believe he's going to get him up out of there.
On the other hand, there's growing buzz for a possible Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis fight, with fans strongly calling for it to happen. Davis is currently training with full focus, sharpening his explosive power and accuracy, putting in long sessions on the mitts and heavy bag while working on his speed, timing, and precision. Shakur Stevenson also expressed confidence about a potential fight with Gervonta Davis, saying the only way to settle things is inside the ring, and he challenged Davis to make the fight official and face him in front of the world.
I got you, but like I said, if any fighter have an issue with me, because I feel like Tio was jealous of me. And I told him this several times. Any fighter have any issue with me,
let's do it.
Sign the contract, turn the lights on bright, let millions come around the seats to see what's happening, and pull up on me.
A boxing analyst noted that Gervonta Davis usually wins fights by knockout, using his power to secure victories and big paydays, but warned that a fight with Shakur Stevenson would present a very different challenge, comparing it to Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, and added that if Davis can't get the stoppage, his biggest strength could turn into frustration inside the ring.
How do you think it affected you?
No, I mean, I think everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
So like it happened the way that it was supposed to happen. And if I had to do it all over again, I would do the same thing again. But was it fair? Nah, I'm a fighter at the end of the day, and I got painted images as like a like, and I'm not built like that. So like I don't know how like
who painted that image?
When I got in the ring and I fought with one hand.
Mike Tyson supported Gervonta Davis, calling a potential matchup very interesting, and said Shakur Stevenson is a highly skilled technician who can handle pressure, though his defensive style can sometimes seem less exciting, while also adding that pressure fighters like Davis are needed to truly test him and praising Davis as a dominant force in boxing.
It just felt like y'all was a big three at that moment. Did it feel like that from your perspective at that time?
Yeah, I felt like them guys was fighters. Through the years, I done gave these guys credit.
On the other hand, David Benavidez praised the growing hype around a possible Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson fight, saying the 135 to 140 pound division is very exciting right now, and he believes the matchup would be highly anticipated and not easy for either fighter, pointing to Stevenson's dominant win over a top opponent like Teofimo Lopez. He also highlighted Stevenson's accomplishments as a multi-division champion with Hall of Fame potential at a young age, adding that fans most want to see Tank and Shakur face each other.
I would love to see Shakur and Gervonta. You know, I think Gervonta and anybody in that, any of the top guys at that weight class is a great fight. Gervonta, Shakur, Gervonta, Tio, Gervonta, Keyshawn. I mean, that 135 to 140 pound weight class is hot right now, you know what I mean? But that would be a great fight. I think probably that would be one of the fights that would be the most anticipated. You know, if they can make happen, Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. By no means it would be easy for either fighter. You know, we just seen that Shakur Stevens was able to shut a great fighter like Teofimo down and made him look silly. So that would be a great fight, you know. And a big shout out to Shakur Stevens becoming a 4-time division champion. You know, he's on legendary status. He's on his way to be a Hall of Famer too, and he's still very young.
Chris Algieri pointed out the interesting style clash at 135 pounds, calling it a compelling matchup, saying Gervonta Davis brings aggressive offense and knockout power while Shakur Stevenson relies on defense, timing, and ring control, and he added that this contrast is what drives the debate and keeps fans questioning who the true top fighter is.
Tank has it all. And it's very interesting because we have a guy who's so good and so offensive and so destructive. And then we have another guy who's so defensive and so hard to hit and such a good judge of distance. It's a very, very interesting weight class, 135, which is exactly why we're talking about it right now. Who's the man?
Meanwhile, Terrence Crawford favored Shakur Stevenson over Gervonta Davis, saying his pick is based on pure boxing ability, acknowledging Davis's power and talent, but noting that Stevenson presents a very different kind of challenge inside the ring.
Shakur, that's the fight. Everybody want to see that. That's the 50-50. I think, you know what I'm saying? I've been saying 50-50. I told both of them that. That's a toss-up to me. No bias. Don't just say that because it's your man. Who you got winning that?
I got Shakur.
Are you saying that because that's your man and you don't like Tank?
No. Hey, like I said, I respect Tank. Like, boxing, he's one of the ones.
Yeah.
We're gonna take his personality and personal things out of it. But boxing, he's definitely talented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's definitely got that it. And yeah, he's definitely respected in boxing. But Shakur is a different fighter.
Terrence Crawford described Shakur Stevenson as a difficult and unique challenge for any opponent, saying that despite criticism about his power or style, Stevenson would not be easy for Gervonta Davis to land clean shots on, and he also suggested that Davis's comments about Stevenson are more about hype and promotion than reality.
You know, Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive fighters.
Yeah.
Tank is not going to be able to hit Shakur like he hit everybody else. And he know that. He knows that. That's why he's like, he's boring. He's this, he's that. He's trying to diminish everything that Shakur have done, so it's not marketable.
Teddy Atlas also praised Shakur Stevenson as a top fighter with a difficult-to-hit style, highlighting his movement, ring IQ, defense, and counterpunching, and he added that a fight with Gervonta Davis would be very exciting.
Tremendous talent, and he's got a very difficult style to decipher. You know, when you fight him, you have to not only deal with his talent, his great ability, but that you got to find a way to, again, to decipher his style. He's got a style that is very difficult to overcome and to look good with, and you know, to obviously be you know, to be productive with. I mean, he's got fast hands, he's got good eyes, you know, he's comfortable in the ring, he has that great amateur pedigree, you know, he's tremendous counterpuncher, real good defensive fighter, you know, he controls space as well as anybody, you know, I for myself would love to see him and Tank Davis.
Furthermore, Timothy Bradley questioned Gervonta Davis's resume, pointing out the level of opponents he has faced, and he also discussed what Shakur Stevenson would truly gain from a win, suggesting the payoff might be more financial than significant for his long-term boxing legacy.
You already know the perception of Tank by many of the boxing pundits and the fans of boxing. You know, you already know how they feel about Tank Davis when it comes to, you know, I hear people talk about his resume. I hear people talking about, well, he's only one division champion. He really only won one belt, you know, the guys that he's faced, you know, he hasn't faced a top tier elite fighter, so on and so forth. So with that being said, why even want to entertain a fight with Tank Davis? I mean, how much credit are you going to really get, Shakur, besides the money? Right?
In addition, Roy Jones Jr. said Gervonta Davis has the natural ability to beat anyone, adding that when Tank is fully locked in and disciplined, he becomes a serious threat to any fighter, and he also noted that Davis is sometimes underrated because of outside distractions, but a fully focused version of him is extremely dangerous inside the ring.
But Tank is disciplined, he got his mind on right. Tank is a problem for anybody. Tank can fight better than most people think he can. It's just that sometimes his outside antics get the better of him, and it makes people think less of him, but don't underestimate Tank Davis. If Tank is motivated and ready to fight, Tank is a problem for anybody.
Roy Jones Jr. leaned toward Shakur Stevenson, praising his discipline and consistency, saying he stays focused inside and outside the ring and avoids unnecessary mistakes, while also noting that Gervonta Davis has sometimes struggled with consistency, which is why he currently gives Stevenson a slight edge.
Right now, Shakur wins it because of his discipline, because he showed against Teofimo that he stay very disciplined all night. And he's the type of guy, he don't really do a lot of crazy stuff in his life normally. So it's like discipline is a thing that is not only exercised inside the ring, it's exercised also outside the ring. And as we see, sometimes Gervonta has problems with discipline, but we have never seen Shakur have problems with discipline. We've seen him be more disciplined at the right times than we've seen him not have discipline. So with the fight being like it is right now, I would lean towards Shakur.
Stephen A. Smith warned fighters about going up against Gervonta Davis, pointing to his knockout power and saying that getting trapped on the ropes with him can quickly become dangerous and completely change the fight in an instant.
And ultimately counter Tank. No. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not do that to Gervonta Tank Davis. If you got the power.
I haven't seen you this hyped in a long time.
Listen, Gervonta Davis is the real deal.
I'm surprised you weren't down
got to
there.
be in the middle of the ring.
Yep.
Or in the rope. If you're going to be on the ropes, you want to be in the middle. You don't want to be in one of the corners. Not against Tank.
Meanwhile, Ernie the Boxer praised Shakur Stevenson as a true ring mastermind, saying that even without big knockout power, his intelligence, technique, and overall skill set still make him stand out as an elite-level fighter.
Shakur don't have no power, but he's a genius in the ring. Y'all say he don't have no power, but he's a genius in the ring.
Ernie the Boxer said Gervonta Davis is known for overwhelming opponents with power and aggression, adding that simply going the full distance with him is already a major achievement.
When Tank is known to just demolish guys. So that's a feather in his cap just to stay in there and hang with Tank.
When Tank is known for dominating and breaking opponents down, so just staying in there and hanging with him is already a big achievement. And that's a wrap for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think wins this fight? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.